Hi, my name is Alexi Johnson, and I'd like to welcome you to Chapter 20 of Literal to Living. I'm excited, as always, for an opportunity to do this. This is always the highlight of my day. So before we jump in, let's have a quick word of prayer. Father God, I'm so thankful for just another opportunity to learn more about you through the study of your word. As always, I pray for wisdom, I pray for clarity, and I pray for understanding. In Jesus' name. Amen. So again, chapter 20, Literal to Living. Today we are going to be in Genesis chapter, I think we were 26 last time, Genesis chapter 27 in its entirety. There are 46 verses. We may hit a couple verses from 26 as well. I remember there were a couple of verses that were kind of just on the back end of 26 the last time that we may end up mentioning. This video should drop Thanksgiving week. So happy Thanksgiving. Some people say happy Turkey Day. Eat some more, eat some chicken. Eat some chicken. I read from the English Standard Version. Bible so heavy. I always forget to take my watch off before I start. All right. When Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." And he answered, "Here I am." He said, "Behold, I am old, and I do not know the day of my death. Now then, take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow." A quiver is what holds arrows. "And go out to the field and hunt game for me, and prepare for me delicious food such as I love, and bring it to me so that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." This is very fitting, leading up to Thanksgiving. I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomato. Verse 5. Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. Interesting how he wrote this. Now Rebekah was listening when he spoke to his son Esau, not their son Esau, his son. So when Esau went to the field to hunt for game and bring it, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, as if these aren't both of their kids, "I heard your father speak to your brother Esau. Bring me game and prepare for me delicious food, that I may eat it and bless you before the Lord before I die. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice as I command you. Go to the flock and bring me 2 good young goats, so that I may prepare from them delicious food for your father, such as he loves. And you shall bring it to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies." But Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, "Behold, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man." I'm a smooth man. "Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him and bring a curse upon myself and not a blessing." His mother said to him, "Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go. Bring them to me." So he went and took them and brought them to his mother, and his mother prepared delicious food, such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the best garments of Esau, her older son, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. In the skins of the goats she put on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. And she put on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. So that reminds me of when I've seen in movies from back in that time frame, how people would, they would, end up grabbing each other right here. So I wonder if she put it on the smooth part of his neck because, somebody would maybe grab somebody right there. I don't know. It's just what I thought about. Verse 17, and she put the delicious food and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. No plate, into the hand of her son Jacob. No tray, into the hand of her son Jacob. I hope he has some hand sanitizer, because I ain't hear nobody say nothing about washing no hands. Verse 18, so he went in to his father and said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am." "Who are you, my son?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Now sit up and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me." But Isaac said to his son, "How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son?" He answered, "Because the Lord your God granted me success." Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Please come near, that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not." So Jacob went near to Isaac his father, who felt him, and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." And he did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. He said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He answered, "I am." Then he said, "Bring it near to me, that I may eat of my son's game and bless you." So he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come near and kiss me, my son." So he came near and kissed him. And Isaac smelled the smell of his garments and blessed him and said, "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed." They must have been using those wooded scent Tide Pods. The scent of earth, Tide Pods, or maybe those them little crystals that you put off in the little scent crystals that you put off in there. The Gain, scent of woods, morning dew. I don't know. Verse 28, "May God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, when Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac, his father, Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. He also prepared delicious food and brought it to his father. And he said to his father, "Let my father arise and eat his son's game, that you may bless me." His father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" He answered, "I am your son, your firstborn, Esau." Then Isaac trembled violently, very violently, and said, "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? And I ate it all before you came, and I have blessed him. Yes, and he shall be blessed." As soon as Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, "Bless me, even me also, O my father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully, and he has taken away your blessing." Esau said, "Is he not rightly named Jacob?" Jacob means he takes by the heel or he cheats. For he has cheated me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. Then he said, "Have you not reserved a blessing for me?" Isaac answered and said to Esau, "Behold, I have made him lord over you and all his brothers. I have given to him for servants, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son?" Esau said to his father, "Have you but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Then Isaac his father answered and said to him, "Behold, away from the fatness of the earth shall your dwelling be, and away from the dew of heaven on high. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck." Now Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Esau said to himself, "The days of mourning for my father are approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." But the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, "Behold, your brother Esau comforts himself about you by planning to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Arise, flee to Laban, my brother in Haran, and stay with him a while until your brother's fear returns away, until your brother's anger turns away from you and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereft of you both in one day?" Then Rebekah said to Isaac, "I loathe my life because of the Hittite women. If Jacob marries one of the Hittite women like these, one of the women of the land, what good will my life be to me?" Bereft. Okay, we're going to go ahead and break this concordance out because, the context clues are giving me an idea of what the word means, but I've never heard that word before in my life. I've read these verses several times in the past, but I have not read it in the English Standard Version. So maybe these other versions that I read didn't have that word in there. I'm like, bereft, what in the entire world? Let's see what that means, bereft. I might not even be pronouncing it right. We're going to find out. And it's in the Bible 3 times. Okay. I don't really have to go to the Hebrew word. It says that the word is bereave. So that's the actual word that I'll be looking up is bereave. So why should I be bereaved? Or why should I bereave for you both in one day? But let me just go and take a look anyway. Bereave, it's only one entry. We said Beersheba a lot in those past passages. We didn't say it today. Be bereaved or bereft of children. Bereave of children, miscarry. Well, we know what bereaved means. Lost its young. Those are some definitions of bereaved. But yeah, we know what bereaved means. Okay, bereft. Why should I be bereft of you both in one day? Why should I lose you both in one day? Why should I be bereaving you both in one day? Talking about bereaving, basically, Esau is saying, once our pops dies, I'm going to kill my brother. So Rebekah is saying, why should I bereave my husband and my son in one day? Because Esau is going to kill his brother. So, no, I'm not going to do that. Last week, we talked about, 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Talked about how Esau sold his birthright. And I mentioned that he was going to be whining. Talking about, you ain't got nothing left for me. And this was it. He came mad. You ain't got nothing left for me? This seems kind of foul. But from my vantage point, this was par for the course because he sold his birthright. Let me go to a previous note. That was to this chapter 20, 19, 18. What did the birthright represent? Leadership of the family, spiritual legacy, and the covenantal blessing. Esau wanted his covenantal blessing. He wanted that spiritual legacy. Well, he sold his birthright. It wasn't his anymore. So, yes, he said that Jacob cheated him out of it. Jacob didn't force Esau to sell him his birthright. He just said, hey, you want some of this bean stew? Sell me your birthright. Esau could have said, no, I'll go and make myself something to eat. I'm not finna sell you my birthright. Or he could have said, Ma, Jacob in here trying to get me to sell my birthright again. Make him give me something to eat. You know, I don't know how old they were, but that's crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I'm ready to jump into these points. I think I got 3. Let me write some stuff down. You already know. I'm gonna see you on the other side of this note taking. So I got to write some stuff down. All right. So let's take a look at what we have here. A couple things that we know, right? we know that Isaac loved Esau, right? Man, when I go back and edit these videos, I say right a lot. That's like my vocal pause. But I'm not going to stop saying it. It just comes out. So, again, we know that Isaac loved Esau, right? It says in Genesis 25 that Isaac loved Esau because, 25 and 28, Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Basically saying Isaac loved Esau because, Esau was a hunter, so he went out and killed stuff and brought it back, and Isaac ate it. So it says he loved Esau because of that, because he ate the food. He ate the meat that he brought back. And it says Rebekah loved Jacob. It doesn't say why she loved Jacob. It says when the boys grew up in 27, Esau was a skillful hunter and a man of the field, while Jacob was a quiet man dwelling in tents. So that's what we know. Another thing that we know was that Abraham sent his servant to find Isaac a wife from his people. So his people were in Haran. Abraham was told by God, leave your family, your kindred, your country, go to a place where I will send you. So they were in Haran. So his servant went to Haran, and that's where he found Rebekah for Isaac. Now, the reason I mentioned, because I remembered when we read last week. So we're in 27 now, but I remember when we read last week, there were a couple oddball verses at the end of the chapter. At the end of chapter 26, when Esau was 40 years old, he took Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, to be his wife, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah. Esau took 2 Hittite women as wives, Judith and Basemath, and they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah. Now, who are the Hittites? The Hittites were in Canaan. These were the same people that sold the cave to Abraham, that he buried Sarah in Genesis chapter 23. Ephron, the son of Zohar, Ephron the Hittite. Yes, he was a Hittite. So this was a foreigner. So Abraham and Isaac, eventually Isaac as well, they were sojourners in Canaan at the time, and they were Esau took wives from the Hittites. He didn't go back to Haran, to his people, to get a wife. He took Hittite women as wives, and they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah. So now here comes the principle. Be careful of the company you keep, because it can impact your blessing. Be careful of the company you keep, because it can impact your blessing. Sure, Rebekah loved Jacob, but Esau's wives didn't make it any better. It's possible that Rebekah didn't want Esau's wives to be part of the covenant, especially being Hittites. I remember growing up, there was a couple phrases, used to always hear. If you run with a dog, you'll get fleas, and stuff like birds of a feather flock together. Those weren't ever phrases that you heard being synonymous with good things. It was always phrases to basically say, if you operate with the wrong group, the wrong things are going to happen. Nothing good comes when you're running with the wrong crew. So it's possible that Esau was a victim like he fell victim of the fact that he married two Hittite women, and that possibly caused his mom to say, "Nah, y'all not finna inherit this covenant, not those women." Because in the end of chapter 27, that's why I'm mentioning this at the end of chapter 27. I'm sorry, in the end of chapter 28, verse 46, then Rebekah said to Isaac, I loathe my life because of the Hittite women. If Jacob marries one of the Hittite women like these, one of the women of the land, what good will my life be to me? Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. But modern parallel to that, right? You got to be careful of who you're around, because it can impact, what happens for you. It can apply at work. It can apply at home. It can apply at school. And it sucks. It does, because sometimes you can be the innocent person in the group, but wrong place, wrong time with the wrong group. It's just kind of how it happens, unfortunately. Being associated with the wrong people sometimes can just mess things up. But the big thing is, I guess the greater point behind it all, it's all about the influence. The main point about this is really about the influence. You don't want to be in a situation where you're in a position where the outside can influence you more than you can influence them. Because how is it that they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah? He was the husband. Yes, he had two Hittite wives. How in the entire world did that happen? When Hagar and Ishmael said they was laughing at Isaac, what Sarah say? They got to go. And what happened? Abraham said, y'all got to go. That's why I'm like, how is it that these two Hittite women made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah? So it's like, Esau, what you doing? Like, are you being influenced by your wives? Are you making sure that your wives not disrespecting your family? Like, what's going on here? So that's why it seems like the influence was flipped. Instead of him influencing them, they're influencing him. That type of thing. Yeah, crazy. All right, the second one here. This one. Just, oh man, this stuff be so simple, right? I just like talking about it from the perspective of the text. That's what's the cool part for me. So Isaac called for Esau, right? And he told him, I'm old. I might kick the bucket any day now. Any day now, I might kick the bucket. So get your bow and arrow. Go bring back something good to eat. Cook it the way I like it. Bring it to me. And after I eat real good, I'm going to bless you. What did Rebekah do? She sent Jacob in wearing some animal skins on his hands and his neck, right? Isaac couldn't see very well, but he knew something was wrong. Now, whatever it is, don't worry about what it is, but once it has been revealed, believe it. Whatever it is, it could be someone's character. It could be the truth. It could be anything. Whatever it is, once it has been revealed, believe it. Once it's been shown to you, believe it. Look at what happened. Isaac had some opportunities here. He had two opportunities. How is it that you found it so quickly, my son? Isaac didn't trust the timing. Like, this likely has happened many times before, where Esau went out and went hunting, and Isaac knew how long it took for him to go out and go hunting and to bring something back and to cook it and to bring it in and to prepare it. Like, literally, not only did he go out and go hunting and come back real fast, he went out, he went hunting, he dressed the animals, he did everything, and then cooked the meal and came in and was now ready to feed him. Isaac knew something was up. He knew the timing was off, but he ain't trust it. He ain't trust what he knew to be the truth. Second thing, the voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's. Now he got a little bit of a conflict going on. It's like, okay, the timing ain't right. The voice ain't right. Okay. He didn't trust the timing. He heard Jacob's voice, but he's like, these hands are Esau's. And then he smelt him and he's like, okay, this is Esau. So again, he didn't trust the timing. He didn't trust what he heard. Like, he knew the voice was Jacob, so he didn't trust that the voice was Esau's. But what he did trust was what he felt and what he smelt. I just wanted those to rhyme. So he trusted what he felt and what he smelled. So it's almost as if, in terms of what he didn't trust, as far as timing, and what he didn't trust as far as what he heard, it's almost as if, versus the feeling and the smelling, is almost like what he did trust was his emotions and the influence, versus any level of discernment that he may have had, right? So like, when you parallel it to how it can be applied, as far as like, once it's been revealed, believe it. Like, any level of discernment that you may have that's showing you something that you just gloss over. Like, Spirit may reveal something to you, but you don't want to believe the Spirit. Now the Spirit reveals something to you again, and you don't want to believe the Spirit. So it's like, okay, you just don't want to trust it. So now you keep going until you find a way to say that what you want is right, instead of believing what you already know. Like, how you come back so fast? Well, how you get here so fast? Sound like Jacob. Like, this is son. This sound, yeah, your eyes not working that good, but you've heard your kids' voices for a long time. You know that wasn't Esau. You know that wasn't Esau. You know that wasn't Esau. Because what'd he say? Your brother came in and he stole your blessing. So once it's been revealed, whatever it is. So you dealing with somebody, I was in a situation with a job that I had one time before, and I had to have a tough conversation. And I remember telling, my old boss, I said, my expectations are built based off of two things. If you say something to me, that's what I expect. And if nothing is said to me, my expectations are based on what I've seen. So obviously, if you're the boss and you tell me this, then I expect you to deliver on what you say. But in the absence of you giving me an expectation verbally, I'm going to believe what I see until something has influenced it, and then a change comes. But that's what I'm talking about here. Once it's been revealed, believe it. If somebody is showing you something, believe it until they give you a reason to believe something different. Whether that's in a relationship, period. I'm not talking just romantic relationship. It could be parent-child relationship. That doesn't mean don't give somebody room for change, right? Because God is in the deliverance business. The same way God has changed many of us and has given us a new opportunity, God can change other people as well. But we still have to believe what we see. I don't mean see with our natural eyes, but we have to believe what's happening, what's currently existing. But when change actually comes, it doesn't mean we have to trust it blindly, but we can be accepting of change, right? We can be accepting of change. That's healthy, to be accepting of change. Yes, sometimes we have trauma in our lives that makes us resistant to change. Oh, here we go again. But that's a part of it. If somebody changes just for a moment and they're going to revert back, well, see, that's that cycle. Don't fall for the cycle. Don't fall for the cycle. You've seen that before. So that means you know what's going on. They've revealed it to you. So believe that that's who they are, right? Unless you got a reason to know that something is different. Again, believe it. That could be at work. That could be the person that's stealing all your ideas. Believe they're gonna steal the next one. They've shown it to you. Believe it. You know. That's number two. That's number two. Oh, you know, I just scrolled in my notes. Trust what you know is real. And then if there's any doubt, just wait, right? Let me turn. I left myself a note for a couple scriptures. The reality is that it's always somebody out there that's trying to trick us, right? Y'all know who that dude is. The devil. He's always trying to trick us. 1 Peter 5:8, be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Seeking someone to devour, right? But here's the, so let me go ahead and drop this other one. Hold on, since I'm back here. We've shared this one before on Literal to Living. James 1:5, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. Obviously, there's more to that passage. Believe that you'll be given that wisdom. Don't just ask not believing that he's going to give it to you, because he's not going to. But in relation to what we're talking about with Isaac, him not knowing what to believe, Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. He will direct you, right? If you don't know, you can wait. You can pray. God, what's real here? What am I supposed to be doing here? You can ask God, what am I supposed to do here? I mean, the Bible says, if any man seeks wisdom, let him ask. God, what am I supposed to do? Or you can just ask God, tell me what I'm supposed to do here. Isaac could have waited. I know he said, I could die any day now. I might kick the bucket real soon. But he probably could have waited. He didn't have to make that decision. Now, I'm talking about this as if I don't know that the birthright already belonged to Jacob at this point because Esau sold it. It already belonged to him. I'm just talking about this from a principle perspective as it relates to the principle now. That's what I'm talking about. The birthright was Jacob's at this point. It was gone. He already let it go. It was gone. Speaking of that, the third one, Esau sold his birthright to Jacob for a bowl of stew, right? So at that very moment, the covenantal blessing passed from Esau to Jacob. No Abraham, Isaac, and Esau at that moment. Before he came in, I'm going to die. I'm so famished. Oh, give me some of that stew. Sell me your birthright. What does my birthright matter if I'm a perish? Give it to me. You can have it. Before he did that, it was going to be Abraham, Isaac, and Esau, I believe. Before he did that. That's what I believe. It don't say that nowhere, but that's what I believe. Just based on how birthrights worked, that's what I believe. Even with Ishmael. Ishmael was the firstborn of Abraham, but God specifically told him that this is going to be through Isaac. He specifically told him that. So that's why it wasn't through Ishmael, because he specifically told him it's going to be through Isaac. This covenant is going to be through Isaac, not through Ishmael. So he told him that. But typically it was through the firstborn son. So no Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Now, as soon as he sold that birthright, it was going to be Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's just, how is that going to happen? So we all look at it, and we can say he cheated him. It might have been jacked up for him to tell his brother, hey man, you hungry? Sell me your birthright. I give you a bowl of these red beans and no rice. He didn't even get no rice, y'all. He just got red beans, no rice. Wasn't even a complete meal. I don't know if it was a complete meal or not. I just think that's funny to say. The principle here is some choices have delayed consequences, but a lasting impact. So choose wisely. When Esau sold his birthright, the consequence wasn't fully realized until Jacob received Esau's blessing. That's when the consequence was fully realized. When Esau walked up in there, what did he say? Let me go see what he said again, because it was funny. I mean, it's not funny, but I'm thinking about like a TV show. It was real dramatic. Bless me, even me also. Oh, my father. Your brother came deceitfully, and he has taken away your blessing. Esau said, is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has cheated me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. Then he said, have you not reserved a blessing for me? Isaac answered and said to Esau, behold, I have made him lord over you, and all his brothers I have given to him for servants, and with grain. And let me just get to what Esau said. Have you but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also. Oh, my father. Like his voice was probably cracking, like it was a tough moment, I'm sure. I'm joking about it, but like I can imagine this was probably a tough moment. But he literally had already sold his birthright. The choice that he made back then, the consequence was delayed. The consequence, like it was there, but it was delayed because it wasn't realized yet. But once it became fully realized, once Jacob got that blessing. Once Jacob got that blessing, it was a done deal. Like there was nothing that could be done at that point. It was a delayed consequence that had a lasting impact. That's why it's cemented in all of our minds, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's why it sounds kind of silly to say Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Every time I say it, every time y'all hear it, y'all probably like, that sounds weird. Because it does sound weird, because that ain't what we're used to. Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. It's not what we're used to. I'm not even used to it. It sounds weird to me when I say it. But in terms of our lives, if I do this now, what will it mean down the line? That's what we had to think about. Story time. Years ago, I can't remember if this was a college friend, a military friend, or what, but a friend of mine was telling me about a great deal. I feel like this was a college friend. A great deal to buy a car. I think it was a Chevrolet Malibu. Now, the amount that I'm about to tell you per month ain't going to sound like a lot, but I think this was in 98. No, this was in maybe 2000 or 2001. It was a brand new Malibu, I think, for like $400 a month. It was a good deal. But I remember asking, like, I mean, it does sound like a good deal, but like, you a college student, ain't really got no money like that. Is this a good deal for you? Like, I remember asking that question. And long story short, the car got repoed. Like I'm not laughing at, like, but long story short, the car got repoed. Some choices have delayed consequences, but a lasting impact. So we have to choose wisely. Like, if I do this now, what will it mean down the line? We have to think about that. Yeah, we can't predict the future, but God has given us wisdom and places wise counsel in our lives. Like, sometimes we got to drop our pride and talk to somebody about it before we make a huge mistake. Sometimes we got to pump the brakes a little bit and submit that thing to God in prayer. Hello. Sometimes we got to pump the brakes and we got to submit that thing to God in prayer. We don't always have to, like, some decisions that we make are not life and death decisions. Some decisions that we make, it's not like, a car is coming and we stuck on the train tracks and the next decision I make is going to decide whether or not I get hit by the train. No, it's not a scary movie. Like, that's not every decision that we have to make. So sometimes we make decisions that we don't even have to make immediately. We make them in haste, And then we end up suffering for a period of time, and we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that, alignment, right? Sometimes we make decisions in relationships that causes us to be aligned with somebody for, the rest of your life. In a co-parenting relationship, all out of a decision that you made in haste, and the delayed consequence. The consequence came. The kid is a blessing, but there's a certain level of consequence that comes when you do reckless things. There's a delayed consequence that comes, because sometimes that co-parenting relationship that happens that's not really co-parenting, that's coexisting as parents, it can be tough sometimes. That's always a crazy example. But I do want to make sure that I say the kid's a blessing. But sometimes the circumstance that's involved with the parents, not so much. So we just have to think about it. If I do this now, what will it mean down the line? I need to write that down, put that on my refrigerator, put that on my nightstand. If I do this now, what will it mean down the line? I'm very good about this. I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day from a budgetary standpoint. I use Quicken for my budget. And the cool thing is I can literally go, and if I decided, okay, I want to sign up for this and it's going to cost me $75 a month. So if I got to pay $75 on the 23rd of every month, I can go ahead and put that in there, and I can see how that's going to impact my budget, because I see what my account is going to look like every day of the month. I know when my check is coming in. I know when every bill is coming out. I see how everything is budgeted. So I can see if I make this financial decision right now, I can see how it's going to impact me 5 years from now. If I make that $75 a month payment, I can see it. Same concept. We can't see the future, but if I do this now, what could this potentially mean for me down the line? We have to start thinking about those things, because we only got one life to live, and we want to enjoy this life that we have, but we don't want to set ourselves and our families up for consequences that'll have lasting impacts because we didn't choose wisely. Will we make mistakes? Absolutely. And God has grace. But we shouldn't want God to always extend that olive branch. Sometimes we ought to want to make good decisions, because why not? Aren't you a proud parent for the parents, right? And I think anybody can, even if you're not a parent, if you've ever shown somebody how to do something, I think you can understand what I'm about to say. Because before I was a parent, like I've been a trainer in the military and stuff like that. Anytime you've shown somebody how to do something, right? So whether you have taught your kids something, or whether you've been at work and you've trained somebody on how to do something, like once you can see them do it on their own, right? And you had a hand in showing them how to do it, and then they're actually executing in that, it makes you makes you feel proud. Like, you know what? Hey, it was tough showing them how to do it. Like, it's tough raising kids, but once they're adults and they're being productive, and you realize, okay, everything that I poured in didn't go to waste. Like, they're doing all right. I'm at work. Like, I spent a lot of time training this person, and it seems like they wasn't getting it, but you know what? They're doing just fine. In any scenario you want to come up with that's like that. Well, don't you think God wants to be proud too? He pours into us too. So, if we stay focused and we stay connected to the source, and we stay in our word, and we should have the opportunity for God to one day say, yeah, I'm proud. Like, I've been poured in, and look at them. They're making me proud. They're doing exactly what I showed them. That's what I want God to do. Not just when I get up there and he say, well done, my good and faithful servant. I want him to be able to look down here at me and say, okay, all right. He doing it. He doing it. That'll be cool for me, because I'm a parent. So when I can watch my kids operating, really anything, it don't matter what it is. Like I've taken the time, I've shown somebody how to do something, and it feels good, when you can see the fruits of your labor, whatever it is. And so I think God is pleased, when we learn the things of God and then we do the things of God, especially things that can save souls and can build His kingdom. So, all right, I'm not gonna beat that horse because it's dead now. Okay, so that's what I got today. Let me just, I got to say all three of them again. That first one, be careful of the company you keep because it can impact your blessing. And that was related to the fact that Esau had those Hittite wives that made a bitter life for Isaac and Rebekah. And that could have potentially had something to do with why Rebekah, purely conjecture, it didn't say it. I'm just saying it could have had something to do with the reason why Rebekah said, hey, Jacob, come on in here. Let me show you how to get this blessing. Number 2, once it's been revealed, believe it. Yes, the birthright had been sold. Yes, it was Jacob's blessing at that point. But just purely looking at this story as an isolated occurrence, Isaac didn't trust the timing. Hey, how'd you get back so fast? You normally would have been gone for a few hours. You normally been gone like 6 hours. You came back in an hour. Like, how'd you get back so fast? Like, what's going on here? You sound like Jacob. Like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were indicators that something wasn't right. He could have just waited until they was both at the house. You know what I'm saying? There was some other things he could have did. So, if it's being revealed to you, believe it, or at least wait until you can validate it. And then the last one, some choices have delayed consequences, but a lasting impact. Esau sold that birthright a few chapters ago. And now it just came to a head because Jacob just got that blessing. And now it's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and not Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. But like I said, that's what I got. And if you got something different, please share it in the comments. And oh man, I hadn't done a closing in a while because I'm not going to use the exit video because my hair is so different now. I can't continue to use it until I change it. So again, my name is Alexi Johnson, and I want to thank you all for joining me on Literal to Living. If this has been something that you feel like works for you, you can get something out of this, consider subscribing so that you'll get notifications as new episodes air or new chapters. I call them chapters air. Generally, it'll be every Tuesday morning unless there's some busyness that occurs, and then it'll be at some point in time on Tuesday. But if it's not for you, but you know somebody else that could benefit from it, then consider sharing it with them. But, the goal is for all of us, whether we're participating in what's happening here, is to still go from literal to living, because that's the Great Commission, right? Is to go and make disciples and teach them to observe all that I've commanded you. And everything we've been commanded is right here in the Word. So we want to be able to live it out no matter what, whether we're watching here or whether we're just reading, studying, and trying to apply it to our lives. So that's the goal here, is to walk that out real time. So until next time, be blessed.